highly about you. So I had to say,
Well,
okay, Allison, I got to get you on.
yeah. I'm very happy to be on, and I can talk, and give you my, thoughts on the things you kind of want to talk about. And it is always fascinating, I think, when you interview people who have started a company kind of from the ground up, and what they do and how they do it. And this industry is such a wild and crazy industry, but the culture and company I've built, I'm always happy to talk about it because it's pretty outstanding.
Do you ever turn off?
No,
No, I don't think you do.
no, no. And it's not because I have a lot of life energy, a lot of life force, and passionate and optimistic about being alive and being able to do what I want to do. And I think I forged my own path, and we'll talk about that, but I don't. I have 3 kids, lots to keep me busy. I've got my mom and dad, my brothers, my best friends, my husband, who I've been with 37 years, my employees, my team. Like, it's just, nope. And if it's social, if I'm going out socially, which I do a lot still, it's usually people that know me from the industry. Like, I'm well known because I was an oil and gas investment banker, right? As well as now turned to do Rockwood, which is very iconic. It's turned into a very, big brand.
Yeah, it's a staple in our community, and actually, it's spreading rapidly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But then I have to even have this same energy for there. Head to the Okanagan. Let me fly there. Let me take a helicopter and fly over to Invermere for the morning, because we've got one of the biggest projects going on there that anybody's ever done.
Wow. So that just to get labor and contractors, it's a nightmare, and half of them don't show up on time.
And I can't operate the level of company I do, like, with any of that bullshit, right? And any of that type of work effort and attitude, and just their integrity around getting stuff done. They don't care because someone else will pay them. But that's not what life and work's about. It's like caring because you want to be the best you can, right? And then therefore you do it for others. They're not into service there, right?
No.
So
how did you get started with Rockwood Homes and creating what you've done?
well, I think actually Rockwood was probably, through osmosis, started to be created in my own mind and soul as a young person. My grandmother's house in Shaughnessy in Vancouver was a magnificent home that was built by, remarkable craftsmen. And my grandma had 11 kids, and I was one of eldest of like 35 grandchildren at the time. But being in that home, I fell in love literally with homes and just knew a good home. Now, I went from potentially my parents living in a trailer to being at my grandma's mansion and really knowing, okay, this is interesting and really, really different. I fell in love with homes and the quality. So through osmosis, I knew what really exceptional is and what isn't, right? A lot of homes that are built in this country are not amazing homes. They're built and they're for purpose and all of that. That's outstanding. I knew, though, what I wanted to do was build exceptional quality legacy type homes. But first I had to go through career and university, and I always just loved, if I got an apartment, I would do it up. If I'd just naturally give friends guidance, and then got a career job with shearing plow pharmaceuticals, and that led to having a little bit of money, buying our first house, getting married, buying our first house, and then doing my house, doing a $15,000 reno to sell it in a year for $100,000 more. It was in my blood. Then I went on and went on into investment banking and portfolio management type business. And that was incredible. I made enough money then to build houses, hire builders, hire designers, hire architects. And through all of that, I learned what it was like to be the client and how vulnerable. And if I am exceptional at finance, have a really good eye and know the difference, how could I be in a position with a builder, an architect, and a designer where we are so vulnerable? And there was no accountability, lots of blame, lots of everything falls on the client in terms of the reality of overruns, even though that's not the client's fault. And when there's no discussion on it, no preparation. So that's how Rockwood was born. I knew I could do it. I had the intuition, the skill, and through osmosis, learning beautiful, beautiful construction. I built a number of my own, with my last house being a multi-million-dollar build, and then said, okay, retired from investment banking literally in 9 weeks, started Rockwood, and put together my processes, my budgeting, my analysis, the stewardship that I wanted a company, and I wanted to come in and disrupt an industry. And that's how Rockwood was born.
I think I was reading somewhere, while you were an investment banker, you were also doing the side hustle at the time with Rockwood.
Well, no, I was doing my personal houses, not Rockwood. Yes, I was full investment banking, raising 3 kids, and moving every 9 months to 12 and building a house.
My goodness.
Yeah. And that I have a lot of energy. I would not tell people to go do that themselves, because it can cause, but my husband and I, Kevin, we're still very happily married. We both had a vision in terms of putting in the energy to do this. And so I got a lot of grassroots, deep experience as the client and the person who paid for these houses, and what I would expect at a specific level. And that was the type of company I decided I wanted to create.
When you look back, do you remember the first house you built?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, my very first house that was a renovate, like Rockwood or me personally, Allison. Oh, yeah. Oh my God. My very first house, built or renovated? Built. Oh, yeah. It was a spectacular dream house. It is in Elbow Valley. It just sold for the first time. I sold it after a year and a half to the CEO of a big oil and gas company. They kept it for 22 years, and it just changed hands last month. And it is identical to what I did to it, how I built it, other than they added a room over a garage as 22 years ago. Light fixtures, sink, granite, faucets, everything.
How do you know what's a trend and what is a legacy in terms of when you're building and when you're seeing stuff? Where are you getting this inspiration from?
Well, legacy isn't trend. Nothing on trend will ever be legacy. Very little. It's instinct, taste, feel, and the historic elements of architecture have existed for centuries. And so that is, it's a culmination where you need a complex feeling and energy and taste to execute. Yeah.
When you grew up with mom and dad in the trailer, did you look at magazines? Were you bike riding around and seeing these homes? I mean, Shaughnessy is a beautiful area.
Oh, yeah. Shaughnessy, when I would be able to be at my grandmother's, all around there, and she lived on a Cedar Crescent, which is spectacular, and the houses were all estate and remarkable. Again, my grandma and grandpa had 11 kids, so they needed a big enough house. And my grandpa was a podiatrist. They didn't have the money, but they somehow got into this home, and it was a constant work in progress. But I loved every single thing about it. And yeah, I'd bike around and go see people's houses and go with my grandma to her friends' homes and experience all of that. Their wallpapers and their fabrics and the quality, the staircases and the banisters and the spindles and the wainscoting and the trim, and just, I mean, remarkable. Yeah. So I dreamt all the time, and I would always do my own bedroom. I remember I asked my mom for non-Bali sheets for my 8th birthday. Don't give me crappy sheets. I want really good sheets for my bed. That's my birthday present. Yeah.
So this was in your DNA. This was
it was in my DNA that I didn't go to school for. I went to school for business, but then actually I had a dual major, and physical anthropology, archaeology, economics, finance. So I loved physical anthropology and archaeology, total passion. So I did that, but I knew business. And both my parents were entrepreneurs. My dad was a pharmacist, but my parents were very young when they got married. My dad went to university for pharmacy, but then was able to buy Boots drugstores and Shoppers Drug Marts in the Kootenays. So he was a total entrepreneur trying. And actually in 1981, he had made an entrepreneurial investment in a fire log company that went belly up. And we experienced all of what an entrepreneur can have happen, which is lose everything. My mom owned different types of stores and jewelry stores and pet stores. I worked at all of them as a like grade 5, 6, 7, 8. And then my mom was also an accountant. So we, my parents were entrepreneurs and we worked hard. I loved it. I didn't care if I was doing an end aisle merchandising in Shoppers in Cranbrook. I loved it, or working the till, or working in the makeup department when I was 10, 11, 12.
Do you think that's a part of your drive when you look back in terms of, I don't want to ever go back, where I was at one point, that low part?
Yeah, I I wouldn't wish that. However, I'm not afraid of that. And so when you're not afraid of it, because it didn't change you to have your parents lose everything and figure out, what you do from there and help them, right? And be a part of the solution when you're in grade 8, it didn't kill us. It made me stronger. I got a job in grade 8 that was amazing, that lasted through grade 12 because I needed all my own money. It's a beautiful thing to have happened to me because it is what made me.
When we look back, the failures, you can look at it as catastrophe, or you can look at it as a learning lesson in life to build strength.
Epic lessons. Those aren't catastrophes. Those hurt, and you're like, wow. But if you learn from them, the wisdom you have moving into every other facet of your life is what the gift is. So, yeah. It sounds so cliche. Failures are wonderful life lessons. True. But don't ignore all the hurt, pain, worry, fear that come with it. From that, you, just like steel gets galvanized with fire, we get galvanized and stronger and more courageous with those type of experiences.
When you got your first employee with Rockwood Homes, how was that as a feeling? Because that's growth. All of a sudden, now you have one person, and now your team's massive. Not to include the subcontractors that you guys have.
Right. Yes, I have a team of I think it's 34 full-time, 6 or 8 part time. And then we have somebody said 800 contractors in a written. I don't know where that came from, because it's more like 1,800 subcontractors. So I was very, very selective who I hire, how I hire, who they are. My very first employee was actually one of my very best friends. Her name was Darlene Haslam, and she was my CFO. And we had worked together in investment banking. I trusted her with my life. I came to her with my vision, my dream. She helped me structure the budget process, the financial stewardship. And I said, this is how I want to see it, why I want to see it. We are completely transparent, and the stewardship that comes with it does not exist in this industry. So she was my first. Now, I got too busy 2 years later for her. She had to say, yeah, that's enough of, I can't do that. We needed to hire someone else. My second employee, who is still totally with me, is a gentleman by the name of Dave Furs. And he is my senior construction project manager. And he is outstanding. And he has walked through fire with me. And he's most of my early, Lindsay Zugelder, head of interior design here. She's been with me 12 years. Matt Llewellyn, my CFO, he's been with me 11, going on 12. These are critical hires and people because they create the culture. When I hire people, I do think that I have some of the most excellent people and have brought together the most passionate, driven, hardworking, skilled, honest people. And that's what Rockwood is. And when I hire someone, it is a major thing. Gut instinct, their talent, their ability. But if they aren't aligned on my values of my company, in terms of integrity, transparency, loyalty, hard work, team, they're not aligned. No way. Off one of those, they don't make the cut ever. And if I see it show up, it's dealt with immediately and there's a decision made. You can either be on this team if you hold these same values and you protect the sanctity of this company. If not, no. So I will always stay a size, because the bigger you get, the crazier you get, the more you have to let go of your true deep principles of business. Yeah.
That's the other thing. As you grow, and you have, say, 1,800 subcontractors, how do you manage their quality of work, and how is it
Because I've
passed
got,
on from you to, these
oh,
guys?
it's not just me. I mean, we have a team of 30, right? So 30 hardworking, like in terms of the ones that are driving that every day, that's 30 other people like me with vision and talent and skill. We've got on-site construction PMs, not just site supers who don't understand what we do, what Rockwood is. Those 13 construction project managers understand what Rockwood is, and they're on site, eyes wide open, know how to execute. That's how. Exceptional quality control.
I mean, I've seen some of your builds from ground up, and everything is meticulously detailed in terms of things are cleaned, things are like, you don't see this on sites.
No,
Things that you
no,
guys do, and the speed.
right. Yeah, and the speed. And the speed, but you know what? Isn't that just like, I'm a really, really, really good housekeeper. I like to keep a home exceptional. And when you value that home, now sometimes at a job site and masonry is going on and there's stone inside, outside, you can't keep it spotless, but you can keep it the best it can possibly be. So we are exceptional at keeping our sites clean, respecting our clients' money and time and vision, and our own. We keep a clean site so everyone has extremely safe access.
As contractors, does that shift over the years? So I'm a framer today, tomorrow I'm gone. Is that often, or is it seasonal? No.
No, a lot of our trades are real business people themselves, and they have like, we've have a plumbing company. They've worked for us for 12 years. The president of that company is on the ground, like I am, in the trenches. He's exceptional, and his team that he's built is outstanding. And I respect and love and appreciate that they work for us. And they have an appreciation, not an entitlement, that they get Rockwood's work. They earn Rockwood's work. No, framers, plumbers, we don't spin and turn over trades, because you can hire anybody to do anything. It won't turn out well, right? So we've created a really big bandwidth of exceptional trades. Now, if we have 3 or 4 electricians that can do the quality of work we do, we still competitively bid all of our projects. So no one's ever sitting pretty or idle.
And that's a good thing, isn't it? Comfort
Huge.
is dangerous. Yeah.
Totally. It shouldn't be. Everyone has to continue to earn. Like the minute we do something good, tomorrow's another day. Do it right and good again.
Complacency.
Every day. Yeah. No complacency, no entitlement, no expectation. Rocket. You have to earn the right to do what you do.
Since 2009, Allison, how many homes have you guys built to date, give or take?
Just over 210. And you've seen them. You've seen some of them.
I have, yes.
So think of 210. That's a lot. But and we've changed some of the streetscapes in the city, right, with our product. And we're all over the city. And now for the last 5 years in the Okanagan in a big way. In the Okanagan, we do really large family compound lakefront homes. That's what we do. Plus, I have a new exclusive development out there as well, which Rockwood has grown from just doing these custom one-offs to amazing projects like the Residences of King Edward, which is an iconic building in where C Space is in the Marteloup Altador area. And I think what we did that entire part of the city proud with one of the most magnificent condo home, 18 unique luxury homes in one building. Beautiful too. So that's luxury multifamily that others have not done, right? And then also, I mean, they might do luxury multifamily. It's not the King Edward building, right? And then onto my villa projects and my exclusive communities. So now suddenly, I'm the visionary for how we're growing this business and in what way we're growing this business. But it comes with all the same principle integrity, beauty, and brand. So we will not. I was just asked if I would do a 300 home subdivision, Rockwood, multiple tiers of Rockwood. No, no,
It doesn't
I'm
stand for
not.
you. It doesn't stand
It
for what
does not. It does not stand for what I am, what I love to do. So I'm just going to keep doing what I love. Right. And there's lots of production builders and builders who could, nobody should really be doing many, many different tiers of houses because you can't be the best at anything. I'm just going to stay the best at high end luxury custom home, beautiful building.
when you look across the west of Canada, what makes Rockwood stand out, and what is that true? I don't know. Rockwood's got something that you don't see in a lot of custom home builders.
Well, you know, I think it's everything. It's the drive from the top, and that every single person who works at Rockwood is wildly talented and skilled and committed. We don't take it. It's not just a house. We are one of the only true integrated that we do. Let's find you a lot. We are going to architecturally design. We are going to build your entire home, and we're going to do your total interior design right down to the last hand towel in the powder room. And that level of integration and stress and release that our clients don't need to worry about, that's remarkable. And I think I just have some of the most talented people in the country working for me and with me.
Isn't it true though that if you surround yourself with winners and people that are go-getters, it makes life easier, especially as somebody that's
Oh,
spearheading it?
oh yeah. The when my team comes to me with solutions and vision and ideas, I eat it up. I love it. My office has an incredible energy to it, and everybody's free to consider and think and improve. And I might be a little bit scary, people will say, or intimidating because I'm so intense and full of energy. But this is a very safe and open, and I think incredibly uh, free to brainstorm and bring forth beautiful ideas, because and smart ideas. And that's where, and even if it's a dumb idea, it's okay. We still have a good discussion around it, right? But yeah, I think my team that are open and hardworking and visionaries themselves, it's remarkable. That's why we have some magic. And you ask what's different? I just think it's magic, and magic comes from all those different types of complexities and an incredible group of people, a team working together for the true, honest commitment to client care, vision, and we build homes, which a home is probably the most important thing to humans. It's where you're loved, it's where you're safe, it's where you can get reprieve.
Mm-hmm.
If you blow a budget and those people don't have money to spend on it, that can destroy their mental health, their financial health. No way. You have to take every single bit of it seriously. From, is the paint safe and for the kids, and is the financial stewardship whole? And we have been in complete communication, and the clients have entrusted us with this, and you don't mess it up. So I would say that's the magic of Rockwood. It's just so much. Does
Also,
that make sense?
it makes sense totally. Have you seen an original home buyer now have their kids or grandkids purchase a home? Have you seen that generational shift yet, or not yet?
Yeah. Yes, we're building for a couple of kids of our clients that we built for 12, 13 years ago. We're also building 3 or 4 different homes for original clients in different places, for now they have grandchildren and totally different needs. It's amazing. So, we're part of their legacy. Yeah.
How do you how do you protect your energy through all this? So you got 30
Yeah.
direct staff, you've got all these subcontractors, you've also got clients, potential clients, family, uh,
Past clients.
past clients, and everyone can be texting you.
Yep, they do. Yep.
And
Text, email, phone, want to connect. So I have learned truly how to take honestly good care of myself. I exercise, and 3 times a week when I exercise, I'm on FaceTime with 2 of my dearest friends and our trainer, and they're at their houses, wherever they are, wherever, if they're in Calgary or they're Salt Spring or they're Palm Springs, or I'm in Hawaii because I have a home in Hawaii. That's also part of my self-care. We get on, I exercise. So I also connect with my girlfriends. My best friends are a huge part of my life, my family. I think my priorities are really good. I take care of myself. I eat well. I relax. I socialize. I focus on my priorities at work, and I love work so much that it's never work for me. Like, that is, again, a cliche, very true. Sometimes it's very hard and emotionally draining and sometimes frightening because stuff's going on, and we're flying in the biggest steel beam that's ever been put into a house in history, and the engineers aren't telling us 100% certain it's going to work. Like the construction side too, you're always on. How's that? What's going on? Is there a flood? There's flood, there's fire, there's all sorts of things, right? So I could worry about that all the time, or I could take it all as it comes, be proactive. And yeah, I think living a good life is how I keep my energy protected.
Your emotions go up and down, up and down. Like, say, oh, there's a fire today. Now nothing. Now the fear of, oh, will another home be okay? How do you not let it eat you alive? Because that's something, fear, right? It takes us.
Fear can control you. Trust, optimism, and belief that actually whatever you're going to have to face will be okay. Live that way, not in the fear. Because I can tell you, there's not going to be just one fire. And how we handled that fire, because it was created by a neighbor on one of our projects. It was a horrific situation. And we had to rebuild the client's home that they had only lived in there 8 days.
Goodness.
But that fear never comes up.
No, it's inevitable. Yeah.
Inevitable. Any fear in life is something that you have to believe and have faith and trust around. Be proactive, do what you need to do to manage a fear or a situation. And other than that, do every day.
I love it. Is every risk you take calculated?
No.
Good.
No. Some is.
Mm-hmm.
A lot is. I would never put a risk for someone else other than myself, but my personal risks, I like to trade stocks. My husband would say, "You're insane. Seriously? You bought that?" Yes, I did. But that's calculated, I guess, because I'm prepared to have the outcome of that. But I believe in that company, and it might be early, it might be late. I don't know. Other risks that I might take, yeah, they're more calculated, yes. But I'm an entrepreneur, so risk comes, and accepting risk and owning it just comes with the territory.
Like, when you're surrounded by these individuals that have done great in their life, in their personal life, professionally, whatever you want to call it,
yeah.
What is it about these people that is so amazingly wonderful? Like, they carry an aura. It's an energy.
Some of them, for sure. Some of them. I mean, I think I'm very much one of them. I had my own success. I could do that. I mean, a lot of these successful people who can afford what we do can afford it because they've done, had great success financially in their life, right? Doesn't mean everybody's super whole personally, emotionally, everything, but we take our client seriously, and we really, really pick and choose who we work with. You can have lots of people can afford what we do. We can't do it for everyone. So I'm selective.
This client will cause us a lot of problem.
Yeah. We have had some clients that have caused us and caused my team some incredible, unacceptable heartache and mental pain. Those people are very, very, very rare. And you have to feel sorry for them that that's the way that they live. We don't live in that, and we're not going to respond that way back. We're going to do what's right always. And I think that's why my team is so happy being part of this team, is they always make the choice to do what's right, regardless what it costs us, if there's a mistake, how to take care of a client effectively, and also hold some clients accountable as well. So it's both ways. But most of our clients are exceptional, and I have grown to have really close relationships with many, many of them, or known them previous to Rockwood.
you have a client and he says, "Hey, Allison, I'm going to be investing in a new oil and gas project."
Oh,
Right? So when you're around all these entrepreneurs and
oh
people that have
yeah,
done very well,
yeah.
it's sometimes easy to be persuaded to say, "Hey, maybe that's a good opportunity to get my focus there." And instead
Well,
of saying no.
I've never moved my focus, but if I think it's going to be a really good investment, I will do all my own analytical research and know if I want to invest or if it's worth my time, energy, and money, and I'll do it, but no change of focus. No, I don't get involved. I don't sit on boards other than one. I don't, I do give time and energy to like mental health initiatives in the city and in Kelowna, like the Build Them Up campaign that the Children's Hospital is building. I love that. I want to put a lot of energy behind it, but it's all that energy that fuels me and it doesn't take my focus off my business. It's part of my philanthropic side, right? And investing, I can make a decision on investment in 5 minutes.
When you talk about mental health, why has that been such an initiative close to you?
Oh, I would say, well, I come from a family that have had certain, many families have lots of mental health. All sorts of people have mental health concerns, be that an anxiety disorder, to bipolar, to schizophrenia, to drug addiction. I think my family, I had a huge family. I have it all. I've seen the pain, and personally, I don't have depression or anxiety. I'm not bipolar. I have a brother who's bipolar. Um, and I've seen the pain that comes with that. And without mental health, there's no other kind of health. You're not physically healthy. You're not stable. You don't have healthy relationships. You don't have healthy boundaries. Mental health probably is one of the most painful health issues that humans have. So for me, getting mental health dealt with and seen and kind of looked at young for children and youth and having proper care is probably one of the biggest things we can do to change the mental health outlook for our country and for people. So mental health for me, I think that pain, and because when you're mentally unhealthy, you make bad judgments. Bad judgments can turn into all sorts of things, which then can create massive more shame and turn into addiction, and it just goes from there. So we have to hit it at its core, and it's one of my passions. I really believe it. And my brother, who's bipolar, one of my brothers, my older brother, he's absolutely epic, and he's succeeded, and he handles himself, and he's very successful. That's a remarkable success.
For people that realize life is short, um,
Yep.
and we know that with many close friends, family, yeah, we don't know how much time we have, right? These minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You make the most of it, whether it's taking care of yourself, bike riding, doing things, staying
Yeah,
alive. Instead of focusing on darkness, you focus on light.
I do.
Yeah.
When worry comes, I say to people, really work hard. Worry is your biggest energy and mental health suck, like in terms of life. So, worry, if you're worrying about something, what it means is you need to proactively deal with something. That's your trigger. That's your instinct. That's what worry is. So, for me, I try really hard. If I'm worrying about something, I'm going to do something, act on it to figure out what are you worried about, deal with that right now. But life is so short. I couldn't agree more. We had, friends, some wonderful people in this city, a couple that, I mean, it's so in our world right now. They were killed in a car accident together like a month ago. Shocking, tragic, and quick. That's life. That's how they didn't know until 5 seconds before. So when I look at that, and in my youth, I was 23, I had a brain aneurysm and faced total mortality, and my life could have been cut short right at 23. And by the grace of the universe, I lived and survived. And I think part of my life force comes from that, and my knowing that live in the light and in everything good around you. There's bad stuff to deal with it, but live in the light.
Oftentimes people focus on just work or just family. You've been able
No.
to do it all. and have
Yeah.
find a balance. But that balance is truly a balance. If you're giving 100% at work, you're giving 100% at home. And of course, we have days. We're all humans.
Yeah.
Right?
There's no balance. Holy shit. Balance is kind of like, but it ebbs and flows. And if it's healthy and you feel good and the people around you are in good shape, you're doing the right thing. It's okay. And you have to be good, easy on yourself. Like, I can't tell you the number of times I personally am my biggest champion, my biggest cheerleader. Like, I can walk out of a hardcore meeting and say to myself, Allison, right on. You did an incredible job. And that is yourself. You can succeed with believing in you. And that, again, people say that in a cliche way. It's true, right? And there's no balance. Like, if I have to work 110% at work, my family that day, maybe they aren't getting all of me. That's okay, because they will get all of me, because we have something planned that next day and I'm going to make a big dinner and we're in. My family understands and supports me, my husband's, and I support him. And I support my children in their dreams and my employees in being their best in all aspects. I know, everybody talks about balance. There's no balance. Just don't burn out. Exercise, eat well, take your supplements, go get a massage, right?
Have you had a burnout before?
Well, I would say after maybe when my third child was like 5 or 6, and I was an investment banker and I was traveling a lot and doing some, pretty big deals. And just a couple of years before Rockwood, I didn't realize I was burnt out, but I knew I was burning at every single end. And I was also doing a house plus all that. I got something called Epstein-Barr, which is a adrenal malfunction. But I immediately called on my whole team, naturopath, my doctor, my massage therapist, my acupuncturist. And I just said, I need help. I go to acupuncture once a month just to support immunity, because I know that our health is physical, mental, everything. Acupuncture, natural health. If you think you can do it all one way without a village, you're in big trouble.
I hear that a healthy person wants everything, but a sick person just wants one thing, our health.
So true. I want all aspects of my health covered. And I do live with some, health stuff, which I don't have symptoms, doesn't hurt, but it could show up. I do everything to be proactive. And I certainly, most importantly, do not worry about it.
That is amazing. Yeah. Because you can always get worried and become a victim. I feel like you're on top of everything you do. So if there's things going wrong, you're on top of it. You don't prolong it. And I think that's where the anxiety comes in life. That's where
totally
fear comes in.
Like, procrastination is one of our killers. And if you can deal with things where you worry or where there's a challenge, I will say it again, to procrastinate on it will create and make that become a monster that never needed to become one. Deal with it, have the courage to, and just go address it.
What makes you tick, Allison? I mean, obviously, to build a team, to leave all these, build a financial freedom for your family, that's important. But beyond that, there's got to be something here.
I think that for me, what makes me tick is optimism and believing life can be everything I dream. And it is. It just is, because I get out there and make it happen. I am an independent woman. If I'm so grateful that I'm still married to the love of my life that I met when I was 18, and we, are exceptional. I mean, sometimes obviously I drive him nuts and he drives me nuts, but it's a great marriage and 3 amazing kids. They are my greatest success. I am so damn grateful that I have my children, and then my parents and my brothers. And what makes me tick is being a part of people's life, making my life as great as I dream it can be, and supporting others and being of service. And that makes me tick. Mm-hmm. Riding a bike on a Sunday with my sons or my daughter, and enjoying life, going to Italy and riding bikes up hard mountains and, like just having a big life and loving my friends and being loved by many. And if I'm hated by some, I'm cool with that too, because they don't hate me because they know me.
Interesting. That is a thing though, right? Haters are going to always hate.
Always.
They'll always find
It's
something.
jealousy.
Yeah.
The worst people are the malicious, envious ones, because that's bad. It's the worst type of person you ever come across. People who have envy.
How do you push them away though? Because they're noisy and you can't pay attention to them, but they'll keep, unfortunately, barking. And
doesn't matter. No way. I will not ever react to other people's manipulative bullshit. And if it's wrong, it's wrong. And I'm full of integrity and principle. I do what's right. I'm strong. I stand for truth, kind of, and I'm very clear. So that can freak people out, but I will never hurt anybody. But if, the malicious envy and those type of people, you really just have to have a really good boundaries.
Yeah. Or just
don't react.
Don't react. That's the thing. Yeah.
You can respond if you need to. Don't react.
What's the difference, respond versus react?
Big response is more of a thoughtful, clear, sticking to your principles. Reaction can be wild, angry, and buying into their stuff and engaging.
Yeah, they're trying to rattle you for a reason.
Yeah, and they don't even know it sometimes. You just have to be selective and choosy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Before we get going here, Allison, when it's all said and done, when we look back at life, what do you want to leave behind?
I think I'm already getting there.
I think you're living it.
Yeah, and my legacy of making. I'm beyond proud of what I've been able to build at Rockwood and every single person who works with me. I wanted to be a trailblazer and disrupt this industry, and I have, and I'll continue to do so. I will never let go the reins of my brand, like what I set out to do. I'm raising children. They'll have children. I have a strong marriage. That's one of the most, as you get older and you're in a really good long-term marriage, it's one of the most fulfilling things you can ever have. I feel trust and safety and all that. And I've done projects that are going to stand for 100, 200 years, and they're Rockwood through and through and through. So from work, family, friends, life, I feel wildly grateful. That's why I got a tattoo, and I'm anti-tattoo. This taught me something. It says gratitude on my wrist, because up until last year, did I truly live in gratitude or understand it? I don't think so. And all of a sudden, I truly, viscerally understand what that is. And I think when you live in gratitude, regardless what your gratitude's about, it's the best place to be. And it's the safest for you, because it actually gives you an outlook to be in the light, like we talked about.
It's beautiful to find true inner peace, isn't it?
And I have it once in a while. It'll come. I mean, I live this crazy, but deep inner, I'm peace. I'm at peace. I'm also kind to myself and accountable to myself. And I think we need to know that you're not perfect. Nobody's perfect every single day. Get back on that horse and ride when you need to, right? You fall off, it's okay. Accept it, hold yourself accountable, and do what you need to do.
It's funny because you're a no BS lady. You tell the truth, you say it how it is. Just it frees you when you do that, though, right?
You're free. It's freedom. Also, it doesn't come from a place of bad motivation, greed, or power, or ego. It needs to come from your principles. Honesty.
How does ego never get to your head? Because you seem so humble and level-headed, and obviously you see it throughout your brand and everything you've done.
Because ego is just painfully destructive. You have to have an ego in terms of confidence and who you are, right? What is that? Who am I? And really know it. Maybe that's good side of ego. Bad ego is when you think you're better than others, when you know everything, when you are defensive and egotistical, like it's all negative. So there's good to ego and there's bad to ego. Stay on the good side of ego. Superman had good side of ego.
He did. He definitely
right?
did. Yes.
Superwoman, right? Batwoman, they good side of ego. So ego, you know what? You can do something epic today. Tomorrow, you have to do it again.
Where did the name Rockwood come from?
Because I'm a purist. I love real rock, real wood, and I will build houses of pure intention and pure product.
If there's a girl out there, young gal, wants to do something like you have, what are some things you could tell her?
I would say I didn't do what I'm doing now till I had a lot of experience. I had worked hard. I had learned from so many incredible people. I had mentors. And, you know, I started Rockwood at 40, almost 41. I'm 54 today. I'll be 55. So, but by 40, I had 3 children, never left a career, had learned a lot, and had the wherewithal financial to do what I'm doing. But if you want to dream, you want to join an excellent company where you're trusted and you're valued, that's where you start. And you get people around you that can be mentors, because mentors are some of the most important people. And I do give myself, I'm a mentor to many. And that's something that is, again, I want to be of service. And that's one of those things, right? And I would say that believe in yourself, hold yourself accountable, always learn, work hard. If you have stinky work ethic, you're done. If you're lazy, be lazy on Saturday. Be lazy on a Sunday afternoon when you can. Don't be lazy. Keep your mind going, learn, keep your body in shape, and build your courage. Every day, do something that you have to be courageous in, because courage is needed to have a really, really, really good real life.
Thank you so much.
And be independent.
Yes.
Be independent financially, emotionally. Love yourself first, and you can love everybody else. And I think love has a lot to do with what we do every single day. People don't talk about that. No.
Taboo.
It's silly, because love is a huge part of everything. And if we're too, you know, big and professional and, you know, epic and successful, we can't talk about love. No, actually, love is the basis for success.
Great. Thank you so much for that, though.
Yep. Yeah. So, and maybe that's because I'm a woman and a mom, and I get to build epic homes. And so it's easy for me to see.
I love
it.